This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning for September 13, 2023, Sandals, the VP, hospitalized after being stabbed in home invasion. A vice president of Sandals Group has been hospitalized in serious condition after he was attacked and stabbed several times by an intruder at his apartment in Freeport, Montego Bay, St. James on Monday evening. Superintendent Aaron Samuels, head of the St. James Police, confirmed to the news that investigators are probing the attack on 73-year-old Donald Smith, who is head of transportation at the Sandals Group. Reports are that sometime before 8 o'clock, Mr. Smith arrived home from work when he was attacked by a man who reportedly broke into his apartment. The suspect used a knife to stab him several times to his upper body. The wounded man alerted a relative who called the police and an ambulance. He was transported to hospital for treatment. Detectives from the Montego Bay Criminal Investigations Branch are reviewing CCTV footage as a part of their investigation into the matter. 3 charged following ganja seizures in St. Andrew. The narcotics police have laid charges against the 3 men following a series of anti-narcotics operations across the island on Monday. The 3 men were charged with drug trafficking following the seizure of 65 pounds of ganja with an estimated street value of $650,000. The cops say they conducted a series of operations at several premises along Mannintil Road, St. Andrew, and seized a quantity of ganja. The 3 suspects were picked up and later charged. The narcotics police say operations were also conducted Monday in Mountainside, Round Hill, and the Brooklyn districts in St. Elizabeth, where 3 storage areas used by drug syndicates were identified and searched. More than 60 pounds of ganja was seized. Stand Up for Jamaica raises concerns following death of inmate. Human rights group Stand Up for Jamaica is calling for a commission of inquiry into the situation of the mentally ill being kept in prisons and the people being held at the Governor General's pleasure and the court's pleasure. The group renewed its call following the death of an inmate at the Tower Street Adult Correctional Facility. The inmate was found dead in his cell Monday and is suspected to have committed suicide. Stand Up for Jamaica, which identified the inmate as Leroy Bailey, said he has been detained at the Governor General's pleasure and had been awaiting trial for decades. The group says the death of Bailey is another example of the state's failure to protect the lives of the mentally ill who have been incriminated and indefinitely detained. The Independent Commission of Investigations is probing the death of the inmate, but according to Stand Up for Jamaica, the investigation should also cover the history and the context of circumstances leading to his death. According to the human rights group, a joint and a transparent process involving both the state and the non-government stakeholders is required to review each case of prisoners held at the court's pleasure with a view to people being released from custody. It says that the necessary resources, including housing and the care for those released, must be dedicated to this process. Security guard to return to court in January for allegedly stealing chairs from police checkpoint. A security guard who was allegedly caught stealing chairs from a police checkpoint in St. Catherine was granted an extension of his bail when he appeared in the St. Catherine Parish Court on Tuesday. Nashawn Spence is charged with a simple larceny. It is alleged that on March 16, 2023, the accused was driving home from work when he stopped at a security checkpoint at the Osemarty roundabout in St. Catherine and placed several chairs inside his vehicle. Members of a police formation which was on patrol reportedly saw him and accosted him. Spence was taken to the police station, questioned and subsequently charged with a simple larceny. He is to reappear in court on January 10, 2024. JT supports a decision of some schools to ban dunce backpacks. The Jamaica Teachers Association has come out in support of the decision of school administrators to bar students from entering schools carrying backpacks labeled dunce. Principal of the Spanish Town-based Jonathan Grant High School, Dr. O'Neill Ankle, publicly declared that any students wearing the bag will not be allowed in the institution, despite a caution from the Ministry of Education. In an interview with the news, JTA President Leighton Johnson, who is also principal of Mushet High in Trelawney, expressed support for the stance taken by his colleagues. He insisted that the controversial branded bag should not be allowed in the school environment.
The bag is simply not appropriate, and I guarantee that the position is that we cannot allow these messages to be promulgated in our schools. If you're asking about students being locked out, I don't think Dr. Ankle meant that he is going to lock out students for having the bag. He is just taking a zero-tolerance approach to say the bag is not accepted here. And I guarantee, as a well-thinking administrator, he is going to follow the procedures to ensure that students conform. We have to be careful. We have to be very careful about the messages that we're sending to our children. Traditionally, education is viewed as the only vehicle for national development. What this gentleman is saying, those of us who are educated are not as wealthy as he is, or does not have the amount of money that he is, or that he has. Is this the kind of message we want to send to our children? That the mark of an educated person is only seen in his material possessions, and it doesn't matter how he comes about with getting this kind of material possession. If you're just rich by thieving, if you're rich by soliciting, if you're rich by being involved in scamming, it's okay. That's the kind of message that is being promulgated here.
Gun and ammo found inside a concrete block in Kingston. A pistol and several rounds of ammunition were found inside a concrete block in Greenwich Town, Kingston on Tuesday. No one was arrested in connection with the seizure. According to reports from the Hunts Bay Police, the weapon was seized during an operation that was conducted on 4th Street in the community about 3:30 p.m. During the operation, a police team searched the premises and found the gun, a Taros semi-automatic pistol, hidden inside the pocket of a concrete block in a fence. The gun was fitted with a magazine containing 3 9mm rounds of ammunition. Investigation continues. Man charged after allegedly robbing and pistol-whipping woman. 22-year-old Matthew Simpson, otherwise called the Tall Boss of Thetford District, Old Harbour in St. Catherine, has been arrested and charged with robbery with aggravation, possession of a prohibited weapon, and unlawful wounding following an incident along the Thetford Main Road in the parish on Wednesday, August 30. Reports from the Old Harbour Police are that about 5:30 p.m., Simpson, armed with a handgun, held up a woman and robbed her of $30,000 and other personal items. He then reportedly used the firearm to hit the woman on the forehead, causing a wound. A report was subsequently made to the police. Simpson was later pointed out in Old Harbour and was arrested. He was charged after a question and answer session. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.